Well, now, I do not know if this is working or not. I'm having mega issues connecting the StreamYard, former and current streaming service here on UNMUZZLED Chat, to none other than Rumble. So I'm having to dive through a bunch of hoops. And I've atrociously missed my timestamp trying to kick off this episode due to it not connecting. So I actually, hopefully, was successful in creating a direct link. But I don't think this will work for futuristic episodes. It's only going to potentially work for right here in this moment in time. And I don't know. Are we working? Testing. Oh my gosh, technology. It is only good when it freaking works. How frustrating is this? Testing. Oh my gosh, technology. It is. Could someone, if you happen to be there and you're able to view and listen to this, could you give us a thumbs up in the chat or use some verbiage? This is insane. Works. How frustrating. Well, it seems to be going through to some capacity or another. As to how well it's working, to be determined. I don't want to sit here and be entirely wrapped up in this. I almost should just shift gears, forget about a live, just wipe off the dust of UNMUZZLED Chat. It is interesting feeling being back in here. Hi, by the way. This is James, your host. I am not the heartbeat. You are the heartbeat of this whole adventure and idea of UNMUZZLED Chat. But personally, there are some interesting feelings being back in studio. Yes, I am alive. I am still with us, and I'm grateful to be. There's quite a few things I actually want to address here today. I've had an overwhelming sense of guilt with the inability for some time into being here. And I feel I owe it to you. And I should have a long time ago. This has been some time coming now. And I'm just grateful to be able to set aside the time and give you an update, fill you in as to what led to this break, to this gap. Because all of you have been weighing on my heart this whole time. I do view what we've been diving into on this very platform, so many of the topics, so many of our guests, vulnerably were willing to show their face, their voice, potentially face criticism in their personal lives, shared with us that this is far bigger than any of us. But anyway, I'm already going on tangents. I guess the frustration on kicking this off and the technical difficulties I faced, yes, it was very straining, but on a positive note, it actually calmed some of my nerves, because I'd be lying to you if I didn't tell you that after almost 3 months now of just MIA, not doing this daily, there has been a great building of nerves, wiping the dust off all this stuff. I'm only human after all, but why not dive right back in? Why not just do a live stream? And that was the hiccup I was experiencing, having all these things. I wouldn't have thought that I would have had to reconnect all the links. I thought it would all be kind of how I left it, but I guess there's updates with a lot of this stuff. So technology, I tell you what. Let's get back on track. I want to address address some of the guilt. It's no secret, I've shared a lot as to my health, the battle with Lyme disease, and this just really highlights the importance of all our health, and not just that, what we experienced all together on this very platform. The number one most censored topic I've experienced over the last 2 years of this whole journey has been none other than our health. Why is that? Shouldn't that actually, in fact, ramp up the sense of urgency and the level of importance to all of us and honing in on our health to essentially become the best version of ourselves? I do believe evil has been attacking that atrociously, and that was kind of the smoking gun when we look back at the planned scamdemic. In hindsight, that is a blessing to reflect back on because it is so crystal clear. It is so black and white. I know a lot of us still to this day have a hard time coming to terms that yes, there are atrocious, disgusting individuals in this world amongst us today that are willing to go to those lengths, and it goes beyond just enriching themselves in money. It's to secure the slot that they found themselves in at this point, in a position of a two-tiered system where it's rules for us and not for them. And they'd like to maintain that and to any lengths necessary. And I know that's kind of deep out the gate, but one point I want to touch on before I kind of get into the personals a bit is in stepping out, I had a deeper realization as to how gravely I underestimated the actual impact of censorship and infringement on our First Amendment right here in this country. Clearly, our founding fathers, with facing oppressors, they knew they wanted to create a beacon of a country and stood it up mostly around our First Amendment. I would encourage us all to actually study all of our amendments and what that really means to us. Ponder that, and not just what has been spoon-fed, but the level of importance, because we lose our freedom of speech to any degree, and that's what we've been experiencing here. It becomes astronomically harder and beyond an uphill battle for us not just to hone in on whether it's intentional or not irrelevant, is to, at the end of the day, what is negatively impacting our health and what could be done to combat that, to achieve, once again, more so, the best version of ourselves. The shadow banning, it's as though even right here on Rumble, there seems to be a level of algorithms developed to hinder unmuzzled speak conversations. Why? Why are things regarding our health so censored? Once again, this just means we need to take our health more seriously. I've been humbled. It doesn't take that much of an impact regarding our health to render our function, our quality of life, in a sense, worthless. And I wouldn't wish that on any of you, or even my enemies. Touched on speak already. I'm already discombobbled regarding my notes. Can you tell? Definitely rusty. It's been a while. But you gotta just dive in. How is there a better way to go about it? I'm sure I could clean it up. I don't need to resort to chicken scratch. I could probably get a prompt. But this is real. I don't need to project as though all-knowing. Forget that. So no, the cabal didn't get me or get to me in any way other than my health getting so poor that I entirely had to focus on just that these last few months. As I gained function back, I had to take care and focus on other pressing issues, such as the home I can't afford to live in. Yes, I'm still out of a trailer. Luckily, not living out of this one at the moment. It has a little more space. However, I do miss the humbling of living out of this little camper. And I constantly dream about getting back out there in nature and reconnecting with you all like last summer. But the house, it actually had settling issues. And moisture was actually reaching the foundation, which was speeding up. And I don't know if any of you have experienced this, but this can lead to catastrophic failure within the actual structure of a home. Had to get addressed immediately as soon as it was properly identified. And I'm happy to report it's pretty much been solely addressed to the best of my ability. However, it was just one of those things that one thing led to another. And as difficult as it was entirely demanding of my focus, my time, my energy as I gained any level of function back. I am happy to report I am doing incredibly well as of lately. And it feels so amazing, and I cannot wait. I do have a note right here regarding my health and what has been helping. And you know what? That's going to be more on that futuristically. Because I do not want to jump the gun on things, and I really want to come out with the things that are more so securely going to set us on that right path. There's everyone in their dog is selling the magic pill or this or that or the other. And I really want to properly vet and hone in on what really is more securely going to set us on that path. And I do believe I'm onto some things, folks. I really do. And I cannot wait to share that stuff with you. But as I've been dealing with all this in the meantime, I do feel as though God has placed some impressions and ideas on my heart, and we are now creating something very important that I truly do feel will be incredibly beneficial for all our health and function. Essentially a product that we need yesterday. So now, just to fill you in, this is more so taking the priority of my focus, energy, and time to make available sooner versus later, as soon as possible. To make available to you as soon as possible. So I don't mean to withhold information, but with this, there is a level of just going about it the right way. And it is a new concept. So, yeah, it's going to take some time. And we are in the process. So I will share as much as I can regarding this new concept as soon as I can. I have put this concept into practice myself, and I do attribute it to have been a huge attributor to, in fact, the function I have had lately. And I now more so feel like a freight train building more and more momentum to the point that anything in my way kind of is life's journey, any hiccup, obstacle, right? I'm going to just plow right through it. And I feel more secure. And this is a great feeling, especially someone that's been on a roller coaster, struggling with Lyme disease. My gosh, I don't feel that these obstacles are going to be slowing me down. And that is just such an incredible, hopeful feeling that especially to my other Lymers out there, Hope this has that type of impact in your life as well. So it's really exciting stuff, folks. Maybe I even should kick off, I don't know, some how am I doing? It's been a while. I've missed you. I hope you're all well. So, my heart, in fact, is still very much in this podcast, in this platform. And I truly want to help magnify everyone's voice to all of our benefits to the best of my ability. And I hope to be able to dedicate more of my time, energy, efforts right here in this chair in the near future. But just to fill you in, after a couple years and the extreme sacrifice it has taken, it has become, shall we say, a financial, emotional drain, occupying up the majority of my time. It truly has. But do not get me wrong here, because truthfully, some of the greatest blessings I've received in this life thus far has come from this sacrifice. And I really would not trade that for the world. Because that, I feel, is the why. And note, that why is so important. But the why, nonetheless, is to why we are even here. Just leads one to a life with more meaning, purpose. It's filled me up with a sense of fulfillment, if that makes sense. I have nothing but gratitude to our loving Creator, to all of you for joining me thus far on this journey. I truly cannot wait for what comes next. After all, you all are the best part of a muzzle chat. And I cannot wait to connect more deeply with you in the near future. More soon. And until next time, God bless.